Within Hypixel Skyblock, there are lots of different armor sets, old and new. Today we're going to be testing out one of the oldest meta armor sets in Superior Dragon. It's a set of armor that's dropped in price over the last few months to make way for Necron and Shadow Assassin, which leaves me to ask, is it still viable and is it still worth getting at the price that it's actually at? We're going to find that out today, we're going to test it out, and we're going to see what the outcome is. Just before we get into the video, if you do watch my videos and you haven't joined the Discord server already, it's linked in the description as always. Consider joining, we've got some giveaways going on over there at the moment, so get involved in those. Anyway, without further ado, let's get into the video, let's see what's better, I hope you all enjoy. First of all, let's talk about price. I'm not going to be testing these armor sets within dungeons, they're just purely going to be outside of dungeons tests. So the stars are irrelevant and the stars aren't included in the prices of these sets, but they are both recombobulated and ancient. The Superior set being 38mm and the Shadow Assassin set being 55mm. In fairness, this isn't actually a massive difference in price, but I guess for some earlier game players, I mean, it's still quite a big difference at the end of the day. That 17mm difference could fund your Livid Dagger or whatever weapon that you want to use. Now in terms of stats, I mean, to be honest with you, the Shadow Assassin sort of outplays it in everything other than defense. It's got a lot more crit damage, it's got a lot more strength, it has a lot more health, but then again, Superior has more defense. In terms of damage, you would expect, I mean from the stats, and just looking at them straight up, Shadow Assassins to do way more damage. But let's stop talking and actually let's test the damage. One more thing to consider is the full set bonuses. The Superior set buffing pretty much all stats by 5%, which is pretty good. And the other bonus basically buffs the aspects of the dragon's ability, which in most situations is going to be completely useless, because not many people use the AOTD. I mean, not many people use the AOTD full stop, but even less use it for the ability. And then the Shadow Assassin basically buffs your strength every time you get a kill within dungeons, which, I mean, if you're going to use it for dungeons, then fair enough, very good. If not, then it really doesn't do much. The weapon that we're going to be using to do the test, as always, is this Livid Dagger. Nothing too special, but you can see what it is on the screen. So that's going to be like the control weapon. Also, we're not going to be using a pet because I feel like it's a little bit more fair if we don't use a pet, the damage will be a bit more consistent. So first of all, we're going to use our Shadow Assassin set and see what sort of damage we're dealing to these zombies. So I didn't even see what damage that was, to be honest. Can we hit this guy? 120k was that? 130, 154. It is Fable, so the damage will vary. 140. I mean, that was a backstab. I'd probably say like 140 to 150k. It does obviously. I'd probably say the medium is probably like 140. And now we'll try out the Superior. Okay, the moment we've all been waiting for. Let's see what damage it does. 125k. 128. 139. You know, it doesn't do as much damage, but that's really, to be honest, that's not as bad as I thought. 122. I'd probably say the medium, once again, there's probably like 130. So I'd probably say there's about 10k damage in it, which, I mean, in reality, it's not too bad. Something else that you do have to consider about these sets is that the Superior is going to buff your speed by 3 per item, whereas the Shadow Assassin is going to buff your speed by 8 per piece. So you're going to be getting quite a significant speed buff when you're using the Shadow Assassin compared to using Superior. But I guess that's a little thing. Obviously you can get your speed up other ways other than just your armour. And in terms of the survivability, the Shadow Assassin is going to be slightly better. As long as you have a Yeti pet, I mean, that really, there's no problem there. I'd probably say that Superior is a good set to have. But in terms of dungeons, if you're umming and ahhing between these sets, you're probably going to be a Berserk if you're considering Shadow Assassin, or maybe even an Archer. I'd go for the Shadow Assassin. The price difference, you know, it's like 17mm, but it is worth it, to be completely honest. The Shadow Assassin set is a lot more versatile, so yeah, that's what I'd probably recommend. Granted, if you're on a budget, and maybe you're not going to play too much dungeons, then Superior is still a good option, don't get me wrong. To be honest, for the age of this armor set, I am quite surprised at the damage that it does. I mean, in comparison to Shadow Assassin, in comparison to Necron, obviously there's quite a big price gap. I'm not testing that in this video, but I think there would be a little bit more of a difference there. Nevertheless, this armor set's aged well, to be fair. Anyway, this is going to be just about the end of the video. If you can't tell, I am a little bit ill, so I'm sorry for the short video, but to be honest, if I was to make a longer one, it just wouldn't do me any good. But anyway, I hope you all did enjoy regardless. And if you did, make sure you do leave a like, subscribe if you're new, and I'll see you in the next one.